Diego, thank you. I'm sorry, I'll firstly say it's not Diego, it's
Diogo,
Diogo.
but you can call me Dij. I think it's
Dij?
easier. Every Aussie call me Dij. It's easier for you, but Diogo is Diego with an O.
But it's Diogo.
Very good accent. Yeah,
Diogo.
well done. You
Good.
you can do it. Amazing.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Diogo. Anyway, I really appreciate your time and your energy today. The first thing I want to kick off with is I've heard from a mutual friend that a lot of people will call you the guy that they call when they're needing a miracle. So
Wow.
why do you think this is?
Wow, man, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I didn't hear this one before, but you already made my day. So I believe that the way that my brain works and the faith that I carry, there is nothing possible for me. It's one of the benefits of living everywhere in the planet. I can really see that faith can really move a mountain. So yeah, I'm the guy that many people call when you are in the deep, deep ocean, the deep, deep black, and I will come and speak joy, speak life, speak truth and honesty into your life, and we're gonna come up together. This is my mission, to uplift everything and everyone around me.
Well, this was part of the reason I was really interested to get you on the podcast because my podcast, Unhinged Curiosity, it's the underbelly of it is it's all about how do we balance self-development versus being content. I think we live in a world where it's very difficult to have both. And this is the first time I've ever done this with a podcast. I planned most of our podcasts last week. And then me and you had exchanged a couple of messages just on WhatsApp. I don't like talking too much because I like to try and keep most of it within the podcast because I think this episode, people will really get a lot of value that will leave them feeling content as well as a self-development. It's sometimes difficult to get both of those angles from people. So from when I started to get a flavor of you and what you're about, the things that you've done, the things that you do, but also the person and the character and the heart that you hold, I was like, I'm going to just scrap the whole script that I'd written. And I started again only yesterday with a few less questions because I wanted it to feel more conversational than an interview. Because I think from being on social media and being online for the last few years, there's a lot of negativity around, and I think a lot of people, whatever they're doing today when they listen to this podcast, whether it be running or in the car or on the way to work, whatever it is, I really want them to get your voice in their ears and a dose of positivity for the day because I think that's what you bring. As soon as I met you before by the bagel shop, dude, that big smile lit up, and you brought positivity and joy to my life. So I'm sure that's what people are going to get from today as well.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah. Very excited to start. Thank you, and let's do it.
Cool.
Run the show.
You talk about one of the things that's really interesting to me, and it's something that I've spoke to my listeners about over the last couple of weeks, and I kind of spoke to Will about it again, mutual friend, was about faith and about your faith. Because I think where your perspective is quite interesting. Can you just kind of break down your viewpoint and where your stance is?
100%. So I came from a family that if you think about someone that that studied the Bible, now multiply by 10. It's my mom, it's my uncles, it's my family. I came from a family that since a very young age, they research and read a lot the Bible. So you have no idea how many times I already read the Bible back to front to back. And people a lot of times come to talk about stories of the Bible. I know exactly where it is. So we're very legal, the legal perspective of the Bible. I came from a very religious family that is very similar to a Messianic Jewish family. We say they believe in Jesus as the Messiah, but not in Jesus as God. They don't believe that Jesus was born in Christmas. So all those details in the Bible that they believe the Catholic Church or the Protestant Church got it wrong, they believe in this way. But since a very young age, and this is what happened to me, I was able to start to sing and start to sing other people, not as someone like heaven and hell, even though my family don't believe in the existence of a hell according to their interpretation of the Bible. I was never able to see someone like me and them and put a bridge between us. I was always the guy, and I always had this energy that no, I will go talk with them. No matter your skin color, no matter your accent, no matter where you come from, no matter how much money you have, I always had this passion about humans. So I was always the mix between the legality, the religion, and the human part, if you know what I mean. Because for me, religion is here to separate one another. As soon as you're talking to someone that has a different religion than you guys are already going two different ways. You are I don't know, Christian, evangelical, and he's Muslim. Immediately, you guys know that you guys have 100 different type of beliefs. But if you come to Jesus or any man or any woman that came here and really impacted the society, they actually brought also union in people, conversation, and ideology, like to follow and see. So that's what I believe. I have this mix between grace and knowledge that I got in my life.
So, in your viewpoint, then, from what you're learning, so are you for or against people's faith, or do you just think it's based on the way that we now use faith or religion and the way that we interpret it and weaponize it? Do you think that's the issue with the way that religion has kind of unfolded over the past, however many centuries, and it's been used in maybe not the way it was ever intended to?
Yes, I believe, like, I have a lot of beliefs around this. For me, the first belief that I have is you can never put religion and politics together. This for me is something that, like, for instance, my family, according to their the interpretation, we don't even get involved in politics. It's just an example. Why? Because once again, politics or anything that put you and me in two different ways, this is separating us. And this is bringing, no matter the religion or how you think, this is not God's plan for mankind. His plan for us is for us to be united and walk in harmony. And for sure, we're going to have a lot of differences and a lot of different ideologies, but we need to somehow sit down and respect one another and come to the best conclusion. This is how I think. I believe today everyone is so separated from one another. Like, I see mates that know each other since they're really young, that now because one like Donald Trump, the other one not, they're not even talking anymore. I see families being destroyed. I see so much happening. And in the end of the day, I tell this because I saw this with my own eyes. All those politics or all those people that we are fighting for, and we are here having they're all mates behind closed doors. They're not even fighting with one another. They're just thinking, what is the best way for us to make more money? They're money driven. Politics, most of them are money driven. They want to find ways to make more money. They want to find ways, most of them, to move society forward. But they are not behind closed doors fighting with one another. So I believe this is what is like, it's happening a lot. Like the Christians today, for instance, I think they're very different from the Christians in the past. If you get Apostle Paul, he killed Christians for many, many years. Imagine, he killed your sister, your brother, your uncle, and everyone not only forgave him, but accepted him and didn't even speak this to him. Today, if you have a Christian brother that only have a political view different than you guys are apart immediately. So I believe one of my goals is to bring union and not division. This is what I'm trying to do as best as I can. 2025, where if you only speak different, people can shoot you in your neck.
Yeah.
If you only have a different view, what is going on?
Yeah, I think this is the issue, is that people see opinions, not people now. And I've even realized it with the work that I've done over the past, 6, 7, 8 years. I believe people think that they need to agree with every single opinion, every single aspect that you have to be a friend. Like, there'll be things that me and you disagree on today. It doesn't mean that we can't be friends. Do you know what I mean? And this is the issue, I think, with the space that the internet or social media creates, is that someone could have done 10 years of great work, but then one thing, one difference of opinion, one mishap said, and it rewrites history for the individual in terms of the way that they judge that person. I think we're far too easy just to criticize people based on one thing that we maybe disagree with. And I think at the same time as well, people are very quick to jump on people who change opinion, but it takes a very bold man. It takes an intelligent man to look on maybe past opinions and realize maybe I was wrong about that, but now I've learned something new and now my opinion's changed. I think that's the difficulty that we now live in the world of when everybody wants us to be black or white and have an opinion that we stand on, and we die on that flag. I think we need people to bring some unity. And I guess my next question on that is, we've seen this kind of real surge in especially young people who are leaning into Christianity or some kind of faith. Why do you think that is at the moment? Why do you think people are looking for something to be a part of?
I believe people more than ever, they want a sense of belonging. They want to belong to a place. Even then, and that's the main problem, because most of the people, they are with this sense of belong. They want the sense of belong without even knowing who they are. Every religion in the planet, and this is what I love about Christianity as well, says, love God first. So what does that mean, love God? You need to understand who is God, what he has for your life, where you are, where you need to be, and why you're here for. Then love yourself. We're not even talking about anyone is still. Then love yourself. What does that mean, love yourself? Man, take care of your body, starting there. Take care of your mind, take care of your soul. It's not what you do, it's what you don't do. You don't vape, you don't smoke, you're not partying, you're not sleeping late, you're not drinking alcohol, and all those things. And then you can start loving others, and then you can look for a community for you to join, and then you look for a partner, and then you go. So what is happening today? Why the number of domestic violence cannot stop increasing? Because men and women, before they fill their own cup, before they sort their things, they're already looking for a partner. Because today you just need to scroll right or left, and you have a woman and you have a guy with you. So before people even go into places, they need to first examine themselves and say, okay, I'm going out in society. What can I do to love others? What can I do to be the best version and also help everyone to grow? But before this, you need to do all the homework where no one is going to see. And it's so accessible today. You just Google anything. You just ask AI. Like, we are in the generation that never been easier to stop with a bad habit and change for a good habit. This is the real Christianity for me. It's slowly you start moving bad habits with good habits. And every religion in the whole planet says this, and name it. And if you start doing this, you will feel better. It's better than any drug in the whole planet is when yourself says, you know what, I'm not going to drink for 1 week. And past 1 week you didn't drink, you feel better than any drug. It's proved by science. If you just do what you said to yourself, because once you start trusting yourself, loving yourself, then you can trust others. Then you can love others. Then you can forgive others. So I believe you are starting loving others, loving yourself, and putting God last. I think we are all mess up as a community, as a society in this point. That's why how many people dying with depression, how many anxious people. You have no idea how many people I ask a day, how are you, man? Not doing really well, said. And I always ask, when was the last time you did a very big laugh? Because this for me is amazing. A laugh that comes from your soul. Some people cannot even say, man. They don't even know if it was last year, 6 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's wow, this is something, that's why I am here now. I want to make you laugh. I want to make you laugh. Let's come with me. And then we ended up laughing because at the end of the day, we are here to what, man? We are humans. No matter where you're from, no matter your religion, deep down your heart, you don't want to see another human suffer. You don't want to even suffer yourself. Well, I believe we all were created with this love source that once we are living in purpose, you feel fulfilled. You feel full. And you know this better than anyone because you master your body, one of the parts of human existence. And you know how it's to eat healthy every day, show up for yourself. Like you were talking before that you have a knee problem, you're not going to do high rocks now, but your positivity in your mind is so amazing because it's just a season in your life. Mm-hmm. Life is made of seasons. Now is a season for you to step back, do your podcast, focus in business, focus in your future partner. You know what I mean? I can see a beautiful wife with you, 3 kids in the future. And then you say, wow, amazing. So what happens as well, then going back to the question, is that you need to understand life is made of seasons. There are going to be seasons you're going to be a bit more sad. There are going to be seasons you're going to have more energy. There are going to be seasons you cannot even move out of bed. But understand that season will finish, like anything finishes, and a brand new one will come. There is always sun. There is always another day.
I think you just probably read my mind on about four or five different things. So I'm going to try and unpack a couple of those because about 10 minutes before I left the house today, I wrote on my whiteboard, deny yourself. And it was starting with those things which you touched on. It's not looking at the things that you need to do more of in your life. It's starting with What are the things that have accumulated subconsciously over time that I'm leaning into that don't serve the purpose of the person that I want to be tomorrow? And that's the difficult thing, is to see those because they're hidden amongst other things. So it's sometimes just denying yourself of those couple of habits, or starting to be more self-aware of those things that you're leaning into, to then discover, okay, this is the thing I need to do next. It's not adding more to the plate. It's retracting from the things I'm already doing that I've misaligned. I think it's a difficult thing to do, especially when you're caught up in a moment. And I guess for a lot of people, maybe even some of those who are listening today, they maybe want to change, or they want to do something different because they're not happy in the job, or they've just lost a partner, or they just lost a loved one, or they're in financial difficulty, or they're in ill health. How do they start to take those initial steps? Because this is something that I think I first probably came to realize more of when I was getting questions myself, and then I listened to some of Jordan Peterson's work, and he obviously starts with, for you to be able to impact the world, you first need to start by tidying your own room.
Wow.
And people want to also know, how do I find the perfect partner? And the thing that I then start to realize is that you need to become the perfect first date first. People are looking to put that onus on other people, but you need to take responsibility first to hone in your own skills. So what would be the first steps for you in starting to take those steps into the person that you want to become, when you've maybe for so many years lent into habits that have landed you in somewhat of a hole?
Well, thank you so much for asking, man. I have many people that come into my life one by one, that they come completely destroyed. Like, for instance, I had a cousin coming to visit me 4 months ago. He came so overweight, full depressive, and come from a very wealthy family, full of apartments. He doesn't even to work anymore. So you see, money only solve your money problems. No other problem will be solved by money. Just the money problems. They are a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's very important. But they are the ones they don't solve. So the first rule that I tell everyone, action, and everything that is dark, you're going to run away. What do you mean, Diogo? Anything that is dark is not going to be part of your life anymore. Explain me. As soon as the sun rises, leave your room. Don't go to your room or dark places during the whole day. You need to be outside. And every single day you will write down 3 actions that you can take in that day. Because I always say the secret of life, the secret of anything is planning. Once you plan, why you're sitting in Australia now in a podcast here? Because you plan one day in Liverpool. Love your city, love your culture, love your country, man. UK, thank you so much for protecting the world in wars. For every country you guys being is rich. The opportunities in the industrial revolution. I see you guys. Sorry about a lot of hate going on. I don't know why, but let's go back to the subject. So you need to write down 3 things that you're going to start acting, and you need to have a timeline from A to B. For instance, I always say this, now I'm getting close to my immigration law license. I want to be a guy that will change many, many people's life and working with dream. I'm a lawyer back home, so I already done that a lot. I say, example, you're very sad now, so let's bring you life. Let's bring you light. And let's bring you excitement of life. Let's talk about your future. What is your main dream now? If you ask any immigrant that is in Australia, most of the people in the planet, they will say now, oh, my dream would be to have a UK passport. Google how many people are trying to get in every day in the UK. Oh, my dream is to have an American passport, a Canadian or Australian. Okay, so let's go. So what you don't do? You don't do anything illegal. You're not like, you need to go through the front door. That's the first thing if you want to have a good life. Second thing, what do? You need to master English, and then the person, oh, hold on, I don't speak very well English. Here you go. You have now 3 hours of your life away from the dark that will be learning a new skill and learning a new language so you can connect with other people. And what else you will do? Oh, I'm going to have to apply for a visa. How much is that visa? $5,000. Okay, so you're going to have a job, save $500 a week and have 10 weeks of savings in there. So what I do with people that are really is struggling, create a purpose, get out of the dark and take action. Very soon, one by one, they're going to start recover. They're going to start getting better. Because remember, nothing's too dark that the light cannot find you. As dark as you go, every religion says this, is more light you will have. Oh, but I went to deep shit in my life. I have no idea what I've been through. Man, I also been through. every dark or every mistake you can imagine. We're all human beings. There is no difference between what you've been through and someone in Africa. We're all struggling together on a planet that every day we are getting older. Do you understand this? Every day everyone is getting older together. Like, tell me the name of your great-great-grandfather. You don't even know. They're all gone. They're all past. So all we have today is action, live the dark, create a purpose, wear your best cologne, your best clothing, text people, be brave, and let's rock and roll. Let's make life amazing, my friend. Thank you for asking.
I love that, dude. I think those initial steps for some people just don't come to front of mind because everybody's looking at maybe from point A to point B, and the disparity between where they are now to where they would like to be is so big and so overwhelming. So I think people having some context on the initial steps that they can take to move forward. And it's the same thing with health and fitness as well. Somebody who's 40 pounds overweight looks at themselves and they want to be in this position, but it's such a monumental task uphill that there needs to be some micromanagement of planning those small initial steps and celebrating those small wins, because people need those endorphin release along the way. If we only celebrate losing the 40 pounds and we don't celebrate the losing the first 5 pounds and the next 5 pounds and the quicker time across the 5K PB, then we lose the real value. We'll lose that endorphin release. We'll lose that happiness that we can achieve multiple times along the way rather than just at that end point. I think, you will have realized this as a successful businessman, and it's something that I've definitely realized in life, is that part of the happiness is in the pursuit and the process, not just getting to that end position. It takes someone to get a level of success to realize that the process is a beautiful thing of chasing things down or developing something or building something. And if you don't have that, then it can be a scary place to wake up and live in.
Oh, that's amazing what you just saw, like what you just said, because it's an eternal journey. Every religion, like even Christianity says, it's going to be eternal until one day you are perfect. So we're never going to be perfect. Like I imagine us in 1,000,000,000 years finding more things about ourselves to get better. Put in this way, like we have eternity to be the best version of ourselves, and it's an everlasting journey. This is the beauty of this infinite universe. Like imagine what we don't even know that exists. Humans have the biggest ego I think that was ever created by God. Like someone in Texas that has a gun, just an example, thinks that it's only him in the whole universe, no one else, and he knows everything. Does that make so funny to even see? Like I always say this, like you know what you know what you don't know, but what you don't know that you even don't know. Like you have no idea. Look how, like I did my open license diving recently. Like most people that never dived in the ocean, it's like being an astronaut. There is a completely different universe down in the ocean. Like it's completely different, colorful, and different energies, like you're in a different planet, the ocean. And we don't even know, I think, 10% of the life in the ocean. So imagine what you don't know about this whole universe. You know what I mean? It's so exciting to be a human by only saying, wow, I'm part of this. But at the same time, I know nothing. I'm just now learning. Look at this. We are now learning how to not eat Big Macs. Because if you see the ingredients, it's actually designed for you to die. You know this, like dying and being unhealthy. There are many, many people that make billions and trillions of. It's a very profitable business. Cancer is very profitable. Like if you see how much is, because like you're a human. In our culture, the Western culture, we value life. We don't have virgins waiting for us in paradise if we die. You know what I mean? So we value life. So as soon as you come to any rich man or anyone that even has 10,000 pounds, $10,000 in their account, hey man, you have cancer. We're going to have to do a surgery now. It will cost you 100 grand. This is the loan. You were going to sign immediately. So this is very profitable for people. And then that's why you're going to receive hate. That's why you're going to receive what I call the resistance. Because for you to do good, there's always going to be the opposite force. Every action, there is a reaction. It's the law of the universe. So once you want to help people being fit, other people are going to help them to be unfit. So what happens and what I say, always remember, even though there is the opposite force, doesn't mean it's equal. Because light, if you go to numbers, is infinity times stronger than dark. Did you know if the whole city is dark, and you just light up a lighter, all the attention in the city will go to the light. Light is so much stronger. You know what I mean? So your action will receive a reaction. Yes, you will, but it's like those rugby players. Like, I don't know if you watch the game.
Yeah.
5 guys trying to tackle, but you don't not get tackled. You don't go down. You keep moving forward. That's why I love rugby. Some guy, they don't do it. They keep moving. They're light against dark. This is what I see when I'm watching the game.
That's such a beautiful message for people to hear. I guess if they are in a very dark place, it's nice to know that they only need one good day or one good pass or one good deed to then bring light back to wherever they are.
Wow, you're very clever, man. That's it, man.
Yeah,
Well
I
done.
think it's difficult. Again, it's not an easy thing to do. But in terms of your learnings as well, like one of the questions I have, do you think learning has kept you humble, or do you think being humble has kept you learning?
Thank you very much for your question. I believe what kept me humble was making terrible mistakes in my life. Like, I'm now in my 30s, I achieved my 30s. Now I made mistakes in my life that I'm not proud of saying, and I'm a human. And took me a long time to forgive myself and to be forgiven and move forward. I believe, like, different than other people say, you're gonna make me mistakes, terrible ones. You are a human. Doesn't exist any human that didn't make terrible mistakes in life. Can be breaking someone's heart, can be dishonest financially to someone, lying to someone, like really stealing joy and being dark. I believe every human will pass through this, and it's gonna be a battle every day. But once you go through this and you repent and you say, you know what? This is not the best version for me. Like, I already had 30 kilos more than what I am now. It was a very sad moment in my life. So I know what the dark is, and I know what I'm saying because I've been there. So I believe what keeps you humble is when you make the mistakes, you grow out of those mistakes, you stop judging out other people, you stop hating, and you spread positivity. Because remember, you're always going to receive what you're giving. I have a lot of friends telling me, oh, it's my birthday, no one is giving me one gift. Man, do you give gifts to anyone? Oh, I don't give. So you're not going to receive. You're going to receive what you're giving. If you're giving honesty, if you're giving generosity, if you're giving truth, you're going to receive this back. For instance, as of now, I specialize as well in criminal law. Why do you think most of, and there's no right or wrong here, I'm not judging, but just a fact, why most of the prostitutes date drug dealers? You know what I mean? Like, people, it's just it's most of them are dating, you know what I mean? And you say, hold on, because they are putting out stuff that is going to hurt their soul, so they find one another. Does that make sense? They find one another. It's like 85% they get. And also, if you're an honest man doing your very best and you're on, why you guys are going to find one another too?
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is, like, we are like human antennas in terms of what you're putting out is what you are receiving. This is obviously a big thing about manifestation, as well as the energy that you put out and what you think and what you believe. And this is something I've spoke about on previous episodes with. I had a really interesting guy on last week who's a physiologist, and we were talking about the power of manifestation and the things that you tell yourself. And it's no coincidence that when you wake up and tell yourself that you're a fat piece of shit and you're unworthy and you shouldn't have done this, or like you are never going to achieve anything, that transpires into the rest of your life because you're telling yourself those things. So you're then going to surround yourself with anyone or anything that backs up those beliefs that you have. Whereas, shoe on the other foot, you tell yourself, I'm handsome, I'm worthy, I'm going to have this, I'm going to be fit, I have those beliefs and I know that they're going to be true. It's not wishy-washy hippie crap. I think when you have those intentions and you speak to yourself in that way, your brain thinks it actually has them, and you surround yourself with people like you, or people who can connect you with other people, or you put yourself in opportunities, or you're more confident to go out and meet new people who then align with those things that you want to try and achieve. I think it's such a powerful tool that, I mean, it's something that I haven't even really realized until the last couple of years of my life as well. Is that something that, how much of that appears in your life, and how much of a tool has manifestation played in the success that you've built up over the past few years?
Thank you so much for asking. So I believe the 2 moments that the enemy, like the dark voices, they come every day, and the 2 moments that I believe they come the most is when you wake up and before you go to bed.
Why?
You know, like I will explain to you, but when you wake up, it's preparing you to the whole day. You know, everything that you start there, it's like a house. You're building the foundation of your day. So what I always think when I wake up, I always think this way, and I share this with you now. Man, do you know what is hard? Do you know what every religion, do you know why God loves you? Scientifically speaking, for you to be born, you are racing against millions of sperms. Imagine now I will put you in a race against millions of everyone so fit, training for years and years, never had one bad meal, and they're all racing to come to life to be you. You know, a different sperm that touched the egg would be a completely different band. It's proved by science. So by only thinking this is hard, you already won the race. You are alive. You move your fingers like you're breathing. So this start bringing you gratitude. No matter how overweight you are, no matter how poor you are right now, no matter how broken you won the race. You are a human being. You're alive here now. So think in these ways first, and you start to feel, wow, that is so true. This is aligned with yourself. Then you have, this is my opinion, you have to sort it out how you believe, how you see the universe. Okay? Because if you think the universe is just you, whatever you do here, it stays here, life can be harder. But if you think that you're part of a plan, of a creation, for you to really be the best version of yourself, do the best for you, for others, and really live a life with integrity, life will be so much better and things are going to be happening for you and not against you. You know, this is how I see it. And before going to bed, insomnia, and this is something that I barely had any in my whole life, is something every time I had, your day is completely destroyed. Like everything's different. They say it's worse to drive sleepy than drunk. Like we are made to rest. We are made to sleep. So before sleep, again, in the beginning of the day, I was being grateful for that. Before sleep, I'm grateful for everything that happened in that day. I'm already planning the next day because remember, depression is the opposite of future. You know, for you to heal depression, you need to be excited with the future. You know, and I always go back in my past. And to heal your anxiety, you need to go to the past as well and be grateful that everything always worked out well. You're alive, you know, like how many fears that you had never even happened, most of them. And that's it. I believe you need to be excited with the future, plan the next day before sleeping, being grateful for all the past things, all the, you know, everything that happened that you're still breathing, you know. I could say thanks to your mom. Imagine, ask mom, did you have any complications during birth or in your pregnancy? You'd see how many people were not even supposed to be alive. You know, so be grateful. I think those are the two moments in your day, if you really focus when you wake up. And that's why I love fit people that they say ice bath, sauna, start the day with a run. This is something else. This is like the Greeks believed that people like you were gods. Do you understand this? Like in their religion, they saw your body, you achieved the godly aspects. And you know why? Because imagine today is much easier to get on. Imagine back in the days you're able to say no to also, you know, only eating bread or beer. You didn't even know what health was. But even though, because you know, to get a six pack, you need to be disciplined, you know, for you to be happy. So they thought you guys were gods back in the days, you know, and how amazing is this? And today, you know, a lot of the people that are healthy, they're receiving hate. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, like it's crazy.
Well, we were speaking about this before, weren't we?
Yes.
Just the bagel place, and it's interesting that you go to different countries and different cultures, and the way that people will view you within the health and fitness space. I think I made the comment before about, you know, if you go to places like India or Turkey, dudes are coming up to you, feeling you, admiring you, and asking you questions. And you can go to some places, whether it be Australia, UK, and the US, where people are, it's more tall poppy, and people are more jealous or envious, and those traits are then relayed onto you. So it seems to be more of a cultural thing.
Yeah, 100%.
But again, I think the big thing you start to really realize when you really lean into your own health and fitness, it's not just the things that you can see, but it's the things that you can feel and the way it develops your brain. I think this is the big thing that when it comes to, you know, the advancements that we've made in steroids and peptides and medication for people, it's fast tracking certain things. I think it's creating some kind of disparity gap. It's like when people or some people win the lottery, there's not really a value of the money because you haven't had to give the sweat equity in the process that's got you there. So I think that's why so many people end up bankrupt who win the lottery because there's no real understanding of how much work goes into get there. Same with these people who cheat the process with getting the body. They've not been through the process that then develops the mind. So there's a gap between what's here and what's here and what you've learned. Because if I then put on a load of weight or if I get injured and I've got to have the surgery on my knee, which puts me out for 12 weeks, and I still know how to get back to that position because I've done it before. And I think this is the value in what you were speaking about before in making those mistakes is because when you've made a mistake and you come back from it, you know that even if you get to a shit place again, I've got the evidence, therefore I've got the confidence to know that I can do it again.
Wow, well done. That's so true. I love that one. So true, man. Thanks for sharing.
But the thing I was coming on to with that as well, I wanted to talk about wisdom
Yep.
because I'm sure I either saw you talk about it in a video or our mutual friend Chris had mentioned that you spent a lot of time, maybe it was in, was it Brazil?
So
But
yeah.
you did a lot of learnings and you spent a lot of
Yes.
time in libraries and you were doing a lot of searching and researching and asking questions and looking for answers. Can you just speak a little bit about that part of your life?
So in my life, if I do the calculation every day since a very young age, let's say 6 or 7, I believe I studied at least 10 hours a day until today. I'm still at uni now, Griffith.
Yeah.
I came from a family that values a lot education. My whole life, my father used to tell me, study, study, study. And his father told him, like, I have people in my family that is like the chief of the federal judge. I have people in my family that is when all the big companies, if shit hits the fan, call one of my cousins. Have a very legal part of my family that studied really hard. So it's just you like usually you are a continuation of your lineage, you know. Like there are books that show that if I show your great grandfather, it would be very similar life to yours. You'd be in shock how similar it is. That's why I hit to break generational things and move forward. And I also have part of my family that is incredible entrepreneurship. Like I have an uncle that he's a billionaire. So he's one of the 3,000 billionaires, Marcos Grecco.
Wow.
So I grew up also seeing my uncles doing business, nothing to do with me, you know, but I saw them doing business. I learned so much how they did business and how they achieved this amount of money. So I observed a lot, studied a lot. So what I learned is every culture, every place you live, you find pros and cons. And home is whatever your heart is. We are Homo sapiens. We are meant to be moving. Alzheimer, number one enemy is traveling. Most of people that have Alzheimer, they never even left their city. So they ended up forgetting who they are because they didn't even travel. Look how big is the world. You need to be traveling. So what I was telling you, for instance, a country like Brazil or a country like Dubai, Indonesia, different than the English culture. So I'm going to say something that is a pro in the English culture. You can go to all those countries, Canada, America, UK, Australia, New Zealand. You guys value a lot truth. That's why we make so much jokes behind you guys back then. Man, it's so easy to deceive an American, deceive an Aussie, because you guys don't have this mindset that someone is speaking you at the airport and will charge $40 more just because you're you. But you don't have this in your culture. And I tell this to every Aussie that says, let's leave Australia, live in Bali. Have no idea how many people are lying to you every day. You know, you are naive. You were born in a country that everyone tells the truth to one another. So good luck in those other countries, but I can guarantee you're going to see so, because as a Brazilian, like you can see, man, this guy is so easy because it's already in your culture. However, let's compare this here now. I never suffer one hate from someone from a second or third world country. It's incredible in those countries when you're succeeding. Everyone, as you said, India, they come and they're genuinely happy for you. In the English culture, man, if you are a bit better than any of your Aussie mates, because you're English, they're not going to tell in your face, as you know, they're going to badmouth you. And truth always come to you. Gossip always come to you. So it took me a lot of time to understand, hold on, you're in a very rich country. Everyone tells the truth, but the more you grow, more hate you will receive. That's why on social media, I have been having a break, posting very little on both platforms because I'm studying so hard. My life is so like I don't have 1 second. Like I'm doing 6 business, full-time uni, you know, getting my license that is so hard. 13% of the people that are already lawyers, they pass in this exam. I need to have a huge mark in English tests, and I still doing those business, learning from my family members and doing my best that I couldn't afford the hate. Because this, no matter who you are, it's a lie if you say, I'm not attached to people's opinions. Always gonna hurt you. Always gonna touch you, even if it's very little. Because hate comes with a force. Hate doesn't come empty, but at the same time will come back 2 times stronger in whoever is hating. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I know it's something very small, but like a lot of my viral videos that go viral, people, they know that I'm insecure and make jokes with my hair. I don't want to be listening that in that
Yeah.
day. You know what I mean? So it's so, because we all have just this amount of energy every day. So you need to make the most of this energy. So going back, every culture, every country you go, you're going to find pros and cons. You just need to be the best version of yourself and say, what can I help this society to move forward? So what I do, I uplift everyone in this country. I help anyone, no matter if you're a competition or not, there is space for everyone. And I try my very best to be generous, uplift, and move and raise this awareness together as a country. And I've been seeing changes. I've been seeing many people that were, I could say they were hating. They're now starting to be happy for one another. You know, I've been seeing we are improving, my opinion.
Yeah, mate, it's such a, I guess, a rare mindset to see, which also makes you very unique and makes you stand out from other people because you have that mindset and you do always seem to be giving. And you see that with so many successful people, they're real givers rather than always in that ready to receive mindset. And I guess there's an element of reciprocation effect, but without the expectation. But yeah, it's interesting with the hate comments because there will be people listening to this podcast as well who will be thinking about doing the thing or committing to the thing or, you know, not doing it because they're worried. I think most people's main issue is with what other people will think, or not sometimes even necessarily that. It'll be what they think of what other people will think. So it's sometimes a scarcity in the fear itself. And the one thing that we don't know anything about is the future. So you're creating these stories in your own head before it's even happened. And it happened to me even as recently as last week. I put maybe 20 hours into a YouTube video of a bit of an experiment with my own body because there's this thing called GLP-1s at the moment. Don't know if you've heard about it. It's like a new peptide. It's really big in the UK and
That you lose weight?
yeah,
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 I
yeah.
think I
And
heard about it.
yeah,
Yes.
and it's huge in the UK and the US at the moment. Long story short, it's made for people who are kind of sitting on that red zone of maybe becoming type 2 diabetes or cardiac arrest or heart disease, and to bring them back into the green.
Wow,
Now
nice.
it's got into the hands of celebrities and Hollywood, and then it gets into the hands of lifestyle individuals who just want to lose weight. And I was getting tons of messages from people on Instagram, and I was even getting a lot of clients who were asking about it. I had one of my mum's friends, and she was taking it. So I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna do 4 weeks. I'm gonna take it myself. So I have the research that I've done, and then I've got the anecdotal experience of it as well. Not because I wanted to lose weight.
Was worthy?
It's good for the individuals who need it. It's like having a firefighter who goes in and puts out a fire in a burning building, and then you can deal with the aftermath of it. It's
Wow.
not for people who just need to lose a bit of weight. So I did it. I was just really fatigued, really tired. Anyway, did the video. I did it about a year ago, and then took all the footage, put it together, and released the YouTube video last week, and got lots of positive comments, loads of great feedback. And there was one person who left this real negative comment. She actually just messaged me saying, "You're a bellend."
And that hurts. Eh? It's
Yeah,
not a
and
good feeling.
I
Thanks
think
for being honest.
yeah,
No one
yeah,
likes
yeah. It
receiving
hurts.
this.
Like I'm not immune to the fact that when I think people think when they throw comments at individuals, it's just, you know, it lands with an account. There's a person behind it. I think the reason why I probably hurt a little bit is because I put a lot of time and effort into. I just wanted to help
Yeah.
other people. It wasn't anything else. I want to help educate people so they could make more informed decisions about their own health and fitness in the future. But as human beings, we have that negativity bias where we go searching for those negative comments. And like I explained to this everybody else, like I kind of used it as an opportunity to help other people in the fact of, you know, whether there is an old lady in a burning building, whether you decide to rescue her or not, there's always going to be somebody who thinks you're a dickhead, because
Yeah.
even when you try to do good, somebody likes to try and throw shade on you. So how do you deal with those negative comments, and what would your advice be to people even listening today who are maybe either one, worried about them, or two, who get them and don't really know how to process them.
Accept that it's gonna hurt you because you're a human. I once again, I don't believe anyone achieved a position that other people come and is not gonna hurt you. We're all one. If you think we're all breathing, we're all here together. So accept that it's gonna hurt you. And second, I met one of the best therapists in the whole planet, PhD doctor from the US, and asked, give me one tip of life. And she said, never try to go in other human's mind. Don't waste your time going to, I'm going to see how this person is thinking, because you're never going to know. This is a waste of time. So I'm not going to even go to their brains. I'm not going to even try to think what they are. I will accept, receive the hate. It's going to hurt. Not think why or how this person is thinking this way, and move forward with positive thoughts. And as soon as someone sends you hate, give them back love. That was Jesus. He said, love only the people that love you. Anyone can do this. Love your enemies. So that's this is the healing. So you send back, hey man, I understand that I might have this deformity. Like I understand that I might have an accent or speak really well or be this, but you know what? Receive good energy into your day. I hope you're doing well. Because even if you're going to hate again, what are you going to say? You have no idea how many, like people say, Diogo, have you ever been in a fist fight? I never been, but I was nearly close many times. And the way that I was able to avoid all of them is put my hands up. No man wants to fight someone that say, man, love you, not sure what's going on. I don't want to fight. I'm not going to do anything back. Please, let's not fight. I ask you, look in the eyes. Every man, no matter how criminal, no matter, you're not going to fight, because love is the weapon.
Yeah.
Do you want to, would you be punching someone that don't even want to fight against you? Doesn't make sense as a man. There is something inside of us. We don't want to, is that it doesn't if my hands are up. So that's what I believe. Hate, return with love, and you see what happens. Even if you don't want to be loving, this is the beauty of the universe. Even if you don't want to give, if you don't want to love, even if you don't want to be loyal, do all those things and you're going to receive back. You don't need to be wanting in your heart. Just do it and you see,
I think it offsets the balance of expectation. So even with this person who sent me that message the other day, I ended the message with, I hope you have a great and beautiful day. And she must have thought huh? What's going on? Because she would have expected hate back. I think if you can become the disruptor in the way that people's thinking usually is, it's such a powerful thing. And I was speaking again on I sometimes just throw TikTok videos out now speaking about kind of what you were talking about then with, it is difficult to be a good person and be kind to a shitty person, but it's even more difficult to be a good person who is shitty back to a shitty person, because you're then going against your own values. So it's not worth you sacrificing your own morals and your own ethos to try and bring yourself down to that level. And again, going back to the comment that you made about the therapist, that's great advice, because again, relaying this to real life experiences, I kind of experienced that with, I wouldn't even call it a relationship. It was a situationship, which broken down ended. And the thing that kept me so strung up in terms of a mindset within that situation, not letting it go, was me trying to understand that other individual's behaviors. As soon as I stopped trying to understand, gone.
Wow, and how amazing. This took a PhD doctor to explain this to me, and you already applied. It's amazing how a lot of people in different parts of the planet, they're having different human experiences, but they're learning the same things. That's what I love about Christianity as well. Like you, like me, there are millions of people now going through the same things. We need to drop our egos and think it's only us. It's me. And man, I would like also to say thank you, not only to you, but for every person that work with fitness. By 2030, Google this, 80% of the Australian population, I'm not even going to other countries, will be obese. We are going to a pathway that is very easy now to eat a lot of calories, empty calories. I know so many people, I go to clients' house, I have a cancer here, cancer there, and cancer here, and cancer, and I'm dying, and someone died, and we know that is through unhealthy habits and through unhealthy way of eating. In the 90s, in the 2000s, I didn't even know what counting calories were. Now that we have people like you, thank you so much that are standing up and helping other people. Because I will tell, this for me is the number one cause of mental health issues today. Is people that don't even go for a walk. And do you know that in Japan, there are people in our age gap that for over 10 years, they don't even leave their rooms. I'm not talking about, it's very sad, man. They don't leave their rooms, buddy. Not even their apartment. They stay in their room playing games or doing God knows what, ordering fast food. And there is a few moms trying to take them out of their rooms. So you understand how dark we can go. We can and we are Homo sapiens. Once again, we're not even meant to stay a lot in our houses. We are meant to go out. We are meant to interact with other people. We are meant to enjoy life. We're meant to be outside and then come back to our homes for our families, not stay the whole day there like a prison, So that's like thanks to you for every fitness person, because I believe one of the answers for the whole world now is fitness, because it's very hard to see someone hating that has a good disciplined body. I always say this, you want to meet the most amazing people in every city you go, wake up before sunrise and go for a run, a walk, or go anywhere in the city. I guarantee you, by only waking up early, you're already ahead. This is one of the secrets of my family and what I do, because the first few hours of the day is only yours. You can even, it's even weird. It's like the whole energy is there for you and a few people while everyone is sleeping.
Yeah, mate, I think that's so true. It's such an easy thing to be able to apply to, even doesn't matter where you are in life, doesn't matter where you are in the world, is to apply that. It's not easy, but it's simple. And I think the thing that we face now, which is difficult, is obviously a society where, everything is so quick at the fingertips. Or, even if I wanted to, when I was younger, go and eat fast food, what would I have to do? I have to walk there, I have to order it, I have to walk back. So immediately there's a bit of friction there, but there's also a little bit of movement there. Now, pick up the phone,
Wow.
order 10 minutes.
Pay $3 more to be quicker.
Yeah.
Because time is money.
So
People
the
can.
friction's gone. The movement to even get the food is gone. We now live in a world where like everything's ultra processed and saturated and tastes better. It's super convenient. So we're battling against this, and I think there needs to be more people who are standing up for it. But we also have this other thing in life where we have other people pushing drivel down people's throats. Of it's not unhealthy to be overweight or to be bigger. And this is the thing that we were speaking about before with the inner citadel complex of, people will change the rules of the game to fit their own beliefs and initiatives. And that's because they failed at doing something before and they've not been willing to go ahead and give another crack of the whip, which is difficult when you're up against that, because, anybody who loses 10 pounds generally will be healthier. Like it's shown in every single metric that we measure throughout the health and fitness spaces that if you lose weight, you're going to be fitter, healthier. Your BMI markers, your VO2 max is probably going to improve, which is one of the biggest metrics of health markers and also quality of life in the future as we age. In terms of rest and heart rate, blood pressure, everything comes down. So one of the most simple things that we can do is to look after our bodies, and it's going to lead to a better future for everyone.
I agree. Wow, that is amazing. Agree.
But staying on wisdom a sec, I just wanted to rewind a little bit, because there's two things that you've mentioned. One of them was that you've obviously done a lot of research, you did a lot of learnings, but the other thing that you've done is you've lived a lot and you've had a lot of experiences and you've made a lot of mistakes in life. And I think it's important that we do live those. We get the slap of life sometimes and we experience the pain and how much it hurts. But I guess, what do you think is more important, or do you think that they're equally important, of how much knowledge we acquire versus how much of that knowledge we live and experience? Does that make sense?
Make total sense. I believe they're both as important as one another. Before you go into battle, before you go into war, you need to research. How is the field? Who am I fighting against? How is gonna be the weather? How is the water? How is the windy? Like, how is the wind? Like, you need to research, but also you're never gonna acquire life experience without going to the war. Oh, I know that I need to swing my sword to the left, otherwise the guy can kill me. So what I believe is a lot of entrepreneurs or a lot of young people, they want to go to the market, they want to go to this work for like to this work environment without even getting ready or getting prepared. As you said, not only the food is fast food now. People want to make money very quick. Have a look on how many new creators on OnlyFans an hour, not even a day. So what is the intention of someone selling their body? Quicker money and money driven. However, they didn't even research that every business, everything you will do, you want to be a doctor, have a look on the success rate. I always say this, you want to be a lawyer in Australia, have a look on the success rate. Numbers have no feelings, we do. Every 100 people that start medicine, only 6 will finish and become doctors. And out of those 6, only half will be a cardiologist. So do you want to be a cardiologist? Do you want to make money? Do you want to save lives? This is what you need to do. And every cardiologist, I always say this, every lawyer, every coach, that fitness coach, everyone that has a nice body had their day one. Do you remember your day one? That's the beauty of being a human. No one ever started in day 100. Everyone needs to start in day one. Is risk like if you want to be a lawyer, what is day one? Understanding how the law system works. What are the all the basics, all the basements, everything for law, and that applies to everything. Everyone is in their day one. Everyone will go to their day 10. The secret is to keep going, learning. And then you're able to say, hold on, as you said, Rome was not built in a day. And I always speak about the Chinese bamboo tree. It's exactly like our lives. I don't know if you know, but the Chinese bamboo tree, when you plant, like you go put a seed, even though you need to be watering, takes 5 to 6 years, even 7 sometimes, for you to see anything coming out of the soil. But then, in a matter of weeks, grow 7, 8, 9 meters. It's even scary. It's like you are in a movie. Like if you go to China, if you see those type of bamboos in construction, they are very good. It's like it's like a Matrix cheat code. How did this grow 1 meter in one day? No. There was years and years of planting, watering. And I believe this applies to everything in the human journey. You need to understand it's like a bamboo tree. It's going to take years, and years, I mean, it's going to take time for you to lose weight, for you to start seeing results. But when you start seeing results, then it's going to be quick. It's like when you make your first million, it's so hard. Everyone says the hardest thing. But once you are there, it's so much easier after to keep the ball going. When you're winning, if you watch any sport, like watch basketball, watch rugby, watch soccer, if a team is winning like basketball, 30 against 6 or 3-0, it's so easy to keep winning. It's statistically talking, it's almost impossible that they're going to lose the game if they're already winning. It's a winning streak that they call.
Yeah, it's super. That's an interesting theory. I think the application that everyone's looking for now, like quick.
Yep.
I think it's the reason why I asked that question as well. There's a lot of people, I think, more recently who will, press the button on monk mode and will just stay in and they'll try and learn everything and really push away, I guess, life and experiences and connections to try and, lock in and consume and learn as much as possible. And then I guess on the other way on the other end of the spectrum would be someone like, Alexander the Great, who took everything to the extreme with battles and seeing how much of the kingdom he could take. And we had, other examples of it like Genghis Khan and Marcus Aurelius and all these great inventors who would take things to the extreme. And again, I'm not placing this individual in the same category as these greats of history, but even people like the girl Bonnie Blue, who's the OnlyFans porn star. She was on an interview I was listening to the other week with a feminist, and the feminist would even say, you've done my job for me by you've taken sexual liberation to the absolute pinnacle of where it can go. And we have these people who are, I guess, paving ways in history for pushing the needle as far as they can go. And there's a lot that we can learn from that. So I guess it's trying to strike that balance between acquiring the knowledge, but then we can also fast track a lot of these journeys by learning from the people who have made the mistakes, like you for today, who's come on this podcast, very successful individual who's made the mistakes, and people can learn through listening to you. And I guess that's the path that I'm also trying to find again, with this podcast being called Unhinged Curiosity, I'm curious about speaking to individuals and how can I fast track some of that learning, but also experience some of it. Because I think, again, like you said, you do need to fall down those holes. Like I fell down one last year where, I lost everything within my life. The weight of the world came on top of me and crushed me. I needed that to happen to almost wake me up, because a few slaps wasn't gonna take me out of that kind of insomnia or that tunnel focus that I was on. Something bigger needed to happen to really wake me up to change the way that I was moving and the way that I was operating.
Oh, thank you very much, man. The amount of synergies, the amount of coincidence that we have, it's so amazing. In the end of the day, it's only because we are sitting down for 1 hour and connecting. Takes 12 minutes. The smartest man on earth is gonna take 12 minutes for him to disconnect from his phone, his brain. So if people have more these talks, these deep conversations like we just did, you will see how many more similarities we have with one another and how connected we all are. You know what I mean? You saw in this morning I was doing this, and similar to me, similar to John, similar to Matthew, we're all here struggling, giving our very best. We all battle with depression, anxiety, what other people think, what I think about me. But at the end of the day, life, we have two different people. The ones that when all those thoughts, all this negativity comes, they stop and move back. And the ones that when all this come, they stop and move forward. We need to keep moving forward. Forgetting what is in the past, advancing what is in the future. This is what is beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a difficult thing to do when you're in that moment, though, isn't it? It's
It
difficult
is.
to. I think the difficult thing, and you've touched on before, is the responsibility element of it. I think it's so easy to deflect and whenever you do that, you give the responsibility to someone else, which means you then give the next action or the next step to somebody else. How do you think, because you've obviously done it in your life, that when these things happen, you are able to, I guess, crush the ego, take responsibility, and then use that to plan out the next steps? Because it's such, I found that the hardest thing to do anyway. I'm sure there'll be people listening today thinking there's things that were my fault, but it's easier for me to detach from it by giving the responsibility to someone else and saying it was someone else's fault, or the reason why I didn't lose the weight is because of this, or the reason that the relationship ended was because of him. How do we start those initial steps and really starting to take
Thank you so much.
responsibility?
Thanks for asking this. In my opinion, the number one thing that you need to do is, if you made a mistake or if your life is holding you back because of something that you did to another person that you have not confessed yet, or you have not coming to make peace with this other person, you need to immediately do this, because this is going to hold everything back in your whole life. You need to be honest, come and say, hey, I cheated on you. Hey, I lied to you. Hey, sorry, I was not honest with you financially. You need to do this to be able to move forward. But a lot of times you're making those mistakes against yourself. So you need to tell yourself, hey, Diogo, do you know what, man? Enough Biscoff every night. Enough doing this. You wake up feeling sick, diarrhea, your body saying, why are you doing? It's a way of your body saying, that's hurting. So you need to stop and say, sorry, I will stop. And I always say this, you want to stop smoking, do you want to stop watching bad things, you want to stop bad mouthing people. Wake up. That's the beauty of planet Earth, man. It's only 24 hours, the sun comes again. Wake up and say, only today, I'll do a test. Come on, you can do. Only today, you're not gonna eat shit. Only today, you're not gonna lie. Only today, you're not gonna deceive people. You're not gonna be doing bad things, or you're not gonna be smoking. Do this test. And the next day, you do again. Only today, again. And then you start getting stronger and stronger, because there is nothing that makes me happier than see those social media. Not gambling for 390 days. I don't smoke for 480 days. Because, man, did you know that the percentage for someone to stop gambling, for instance, is 3% success rate only? 3% every 100 people that are addicted, only 3 will stop. Remember, numbers have no feelings. If you go to cocaine addicts, it's like 21, 22%. So that's what you need to think. Hold on. What those people that are stopping, living a much better life doing that I'm not doing? You're going to see that all of them started in the first day. There is the first day, so there is never too late. You're alive. You won the race. You're loved. You can smile. You sing. Come on, move forward, man. Move forward, woman, and make your life the best one. So one day you can look back and say, "Do you know what? Was only 80 years, 9 years, but it was worthy, and I'm ready for the continuation of this life." Come on.
Dude, I love that. That's such a
Let's go.
and that's such a great way for us to wrap up as well. I think
Thank you.
one of the ways that we often look at, especially the podcaster, is the successful podcast is like sometimes through reviews or metrics. One of the beautiful things about today, I think that I probably smiled the most to have in any podcast episode.
I receive good energy.
And hopefully other people will do as well. I think that's such a great way to be able to assess it as well, dude. But how can people find more of you if they want some more of this energy and passion that you just provided today?
So, man, you can go on my social medias, Diogo Giglio, Giglio, on Instagram, TikTok. I will be becoming more active now from February onwards when I get my immigration license. Yeah, if you want a message, if you want to talk, if you need anything, even if it's a prayer, let me know. I am here. I always say, Diogo, what is your mission? To give opportunities to people that they will never dream to have. I am the type of guy that I see a junior that is a labor for 30 years. You know what? He's 50% of a business. Let's grow. This is me, because I believe everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone deserves to be successful. Everyone deserves to have a nice body and be the best version of themselves. Life on planet Earth is amazing. We are here breathing. Everything is coexisting with us, and we can advance as humans with unity, loving one another, helping, and once again, doing our very best. Thank you very much.
Beautiful, dude. Thank you for signing off on that. And I could give what you one piece of advice today is just never stop being you, dude. Never stop.
Man, thank you very much. You made my day. I have no idea how this is important for my mental health and for my journey. I see you. I see as like this the same way that you might see someone that has $2 billion. Is this how people look at you in physique? Makes sense? You are a billionaire in your body. So to achieve financially, to achieve a family, the same way that you achieve in your body, just apply the same principles, and let's go.
Love that, dude. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, brother.